Good evening. This is Dr. Troy Fullerton with Bilingual Barrier Busters, and I want to talk a little bit tonight about learning numbers in Spanish. Now, when I say learn numbers, I'm actually talking about two processes. There is one part of your brain that seems to process formulating numbers and saying numbers. And then there's another part of your brain that processes numbers that you hear and is responsible for understanding them. When you first start to hear numbers, especially spoken rapidly in conversation, it's just about a guarantee that you're going to stumble over those numbers a little bit here because at first they are a little hard to understand, but there are a few ideas that can help you out. In the first place, we have to practice our numbers. We have to practice hearing them. We have to practice hearing them at random because they are hard to learn to pick up because honestly, we don't use numbers nearly as much as we do common words. How often do you use a lot of the numbers? You could probably go for months without hearing some of them. And so, unfortunately, sometimes they just don't register as quickly when we hear them as words do. But we've got some ideas to help out. In the first place, all of the double digits in Spanish above 30 all end with enta, and usually they are based on the single digit. So like cuatro becomes cuarenta, cinco becomes cincuenta, seis becomes sesenta, and ocho becomes ochenta, etc. So that's one thing that helps us out is just remembering above 30, it's just going to be some version for most of them, it's going to be some version of the single digit number followed by enta. Now, 60 and 70, 60 and 70 respectively. Particularly when we hear those numbers spoken or some variation of those numbers spoken, 63, 64, 65, 76, 79, 78. Well, they both start with S. They come out fast. Listen for the tent. In the word setenta, there's a tent. As an American person who speaks English, you know what a tent is. So just think of that setenta. If you hear that tent, then you know you're in the 70s. That's another way to do it. Of course, we're going to jam our 20s together. So we're going to say 21, 22, 23. And everything from 11 up through 15 all ends with se. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. When we start to see some of these patterns, it makes it a lot easier. We use double digit numbers a lot in Spanish, and you just got to practice hearing them.